What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm down at Hendrick BMW Northlake. We're going to take a look at one of their 2022 BMW X7 M50i's. So huge shout out to them for providing this SUV for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. All that info is down in the description below. The X7 that you see behind me is finished off in Dravite Gray Metallic, and it has an MSRP just over $107,000. So to start off today's review, we're gonna take a look at what powers this X7. So we do need to get inside. This is the key fob for it, but I do have the vehicle locked. So all I have to do is grab on the door handle and you can hear it unlock. And then up in the footwell, all we have to do is pull on this latch twice. You can get a sneak peek of that interior. And as we work our way to the front, we'll just lift up the hood, and that reveals the 4.4 liter twin power turbo V8 engine. This is paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission, and it pumps out 523 horsepower around 5,500 RPM and 553 pound-feet of torque around 1,800 RPM. That power is sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system. This model weighs in right around 5,400 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds, up to its top speed of 130 miles an hour. And it also has a fuel capacity of 21.9 gallons, so you can expect to see around 15 miles per gallon in the city and 21 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 122.2 inches. Its overall length is 203.3. It has a width of 78.8, a height of 71.1, and its ground clearance measures in at 8.7 inches. And now working our way to the exterior for this X7, I'm gonna start off with these headlight housings. So you'll notice they have a really nice sleek design to them. This also has LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals. You'll notice too that the DRLs have a really nice C shape running just underneath the headlights and the high beams, with the turn signal running on the upper strip there. And it leads very nicely to the kidney design for the grille. You'll see there's really nice vertical slats that run throughout it. And this model also has the active grille shutters, so they will open at speed just to provide better cooling and aerodynamics. You'll also notice the forward-facing camera with all the parking sensors. There's a lot of gloss black, which just gives it a really mean look. This also has fog lights, so you can see those on both sides, as well as a lot more mesh in the lower section of the bumper, and functional air inlets, so you can see those on both sides. That will help direct the airflow around the front tires. And we just have a really nice front end with all these aggressive lines. You can see them in the lower section of the bumper and surrounding the lower grille. Really clean lines running down the hood as well. And then as we work our way to the side profile now, you'll see this has a really nice set of 22-inch wheels with a multi-spoke design and a two-tone finish. You can see the caliper is finished off in black. Really nice fender arches too, both in the front and the rear. This also has body-colored side mirrors. You can see the integrated turn signal as well as a camera system, which I'll show later in this video. Up on the roof is a full moonroof as well as the gloss black roof racks. You can see all of that gloss black surrounds the windows as well, and it's in the lower trim piece running just above the side skirt, which has a really nice design to it. I love the line too that starts just up front and goes all the way to the taillights, just to give it some more contoured lines for the side profile and match with the fender arches and the lower side skirt there. And then finishing up in the rear, you'll see the body colored spoiler along with gloss black trim pieces on both sides of the glass just to tie it in nicely. This does have a backup camera with all the parking sensors and LED taillights. They have a really nice design to them, and they protrude into the middle of this power trunk here, where you'll see more gloss black running right through the middle. And then down below, you'll see the dual exhaust, and this has a towing capacity up to 7,500 pounds. So this is a very practical family 3-row SUV that can definitely do everything. So with the exterior out of the way, it's time to take a look at this beautiful interior. So the door panels finish off in black leather with really nice gray stitching. This model does have the interior ambient lighting package and a 16-speaker Harman Kardon sound system. You'll also notice too, we have brushed aluminum on the release handle as well as lock and unlock. There's memory seating adjustments along with the massaging function. You can also adjust the front passenger seat just by pushing on this button and utilizing the side controls down on the seat. You'll notice all of the window controls and the mirror controls are finished off in brushed aluminum as well. There's even wood trim and a good amount of storage space in the lower section of the door. And then as we work our way to the interior now, you'll see the black leather seats, really nice pattern running down the inserts, and great bolstering support to them too. And now as we take a look at the interior, you'll notice we have a very large door opening, so that makes it easy to enter and exit on a daily basis. The steering wheel here is completely covered in solid black with some brushed aluminum accents. You'll also notice this is a heated steering wheel too. Over on the left side is all the cruise and adaptive cruise control settings. And then on the right side is volume and tuning for the radio, as well as Bluetooth and voice commands. But now it's time to start up this X7. So the engine start stop button is down by the shifter. And with my foot on the brake, it's time to start it up. And then as we come back to this digital gauge cluster, you'll see the fuel gauge as well as miles per hour on the left side. On the right side is the tach and the engine temperature. You'll also notice the map right in the center, which is very helpful to see. It is also on the center screen, as you can see right there now, but it's really nice when you have that on and running. You can look at that front and center. You'll also notice too, we have comfort mode as well as what gear the vehicle is in, and you can adjust that screen by using this top button over on the turn signal stalk. So if I push on that once, you can pull up a live readout for your MPG. You can also look at some more data. If I push on it one more time, you can look at your power readouts for your horsepower and torque. So if I give the vehicle some gas right now, you can see those adjust. If I push on it again, we have a G-force meter. You can also look at the radio. As we work our way to the left side of the steering wheel, you'll see there's a small compartment down below, so you can place any items there that you'd like to. We have all the headlight and parking light adjustments. You'll see more of that wood trim and brushed aluminum surrounding the air vent. This model also has the heads-up display, so it's currently showing the miles per hour and the speed limit sign. We have leather covering the entire dash. You'll also notice the entire headliner is covered in suede, which is a really nice touch. And then right in the middle, we have the 12.9-inch screen. There's a lot of information that you can go through within the system. It's a touchscreen system, or you can use all of the controls that are down below. So you can see shortcuts to map and navigation, as well as home, media and phone. We have back option and the rotary dial right in the middle. So with it on the home screen right now, I can use that rotary dial and look at the navigation. There's music and your phone. You can also look at some more data as well as traffic and the compass. And then on the last page, you can see the date and time as well as news and the weather. So it's nice to have that right in front of you. If I use that rotary dial now, we can look at all the information on the left side. So you have media and phone as well as navigation. If we go into car right now and go into settings, we can look at general settings, the different driving modes too between sport and eco. You can also adjust everything from your steering to your engine, your transmission, how that's going to shift. Really nice to see in an SUV like this. We have exterior lighting, your displays. You can also go to the interior lighting. So this is where you can look at all the ambient lighting colors. There are a ton to choose from depending on your mood and what color you'd like to see. You'll also notice your seats, your climate controls. So you have a lot that you can go into. You'll also notice too, if we go all the way back, there's apps. This model does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is really nice to see, and a few other built-in apps that you can use if needed. So it's a really helpful system to use. It's also very quick if you use it as a touchscreen system. You'll also notice too, just below that, we have two air vents, as well as the hazards, and a shortcut to the intelligent safety. So this is how you can configure your forward collision, your lane departure, and steering assist. And then just underneath that, we have a small LCD screen for the climate controls. So this does have dual zone for driver and passenger up front. You can see the fan speed as well, finished off in brushed aluminum buttons. And then on both sides, you'll see some more recirc buttons along with the heated seat adjustments. We have all of the presets down below, as well as tuning and power for the radio. It's really nice to see power and volume as a physical button. And then below that, you can see there's a wireless charging pad on the left side, a little bit of storage space on the right side, as well as two cup holders, a 12 volt and a USB. And you can close this up, so you can see all of this wood trim, as well as the brushed aluminum, just gives it a very clean look. As we make our way to the shifter now with my foot on the brake, if I push unlock on the left side, we can go all the way up into reverse, where you can see the backup camera up here with the top-down view on the right side. You can also swipe over from the left side here and go into the 3D view. So right now you can see all of these sensors popping up just to let you know how close you are to an object. And then over on the right side, we have that top-down view. If I go to car wash now, you can get this angle here, perfect for pulling into a car wash or even a parking lot situation. And back to the 360 view, we have different presets over on the top-down angle. So you can virtually see around this entire vehicle and what's around you. Gives you perfect visibility. This also has automatic parking and the backup assistance just to help you. This is a large SUV, so you have all of these different aids to maneuver this around. You'll also notice on the left side of the shifter, we have the traction control as well as a shortcut button to the camera system, but this will also pull up the forward-facing camera. So if I put the vehicle into drive right now and push on that, now we have a full screen for what's in front of you. Again, great for extra visibility. You'll see the engine start stop feature. We can put the vehicle back into park. And then behind that, we have different driving modes. You'll see Sport, Comfort, and Eco Pro, as well as an adaptive mode. And then just by pushing on these, you will see the gauge cluster change too. So we have Sport, Sport Plus, and Sport Individual. You'll see it change when we go into Comfort. And then we have Eco Pro Individual, as well as the adaptive. So that will conform to the driving conditions and the roads that you're going on and give you the smoothest ride possible. You'll also notice the auto hold as well as the emergency parking brake. We have a downhill assist control and the ride height for this. So you can adjust that to give you even more ground clearance and also make it easier to enter and exit when you need to. As we work our way to the center armrest now, we'll just open this up and you'll see there's a good amount of storage as well as a USB-C if you need to use that. And then moving on to the glove box now, plenty of room for all of that information. And you'll see that dark wood trim just gives it a very upscale look. One last look at these seats. And as I mentioned earlier, this does have a full moonroof. So I can use this control here to open that up. And it goes all the way to the backseat passengers, giving you a lot of light for the interior. You'll also notice up top we have the dome lights as well. And there is a sunshade button for your third row, so you can open that up. And now it's time to take a look at the back seat, so we can shut this off, make our way to the second row seating, where you'll see we have captain's chairs. So there's definitely a lot of room for your second row passengers. The door panels finish off just like up front, so we have very nice materials for that. And at 5'10", it's time to hop in. I do have the front seat set at my height. You can see I have plenty of room for my feet and my knees. We have a little bit of storage space behind both front seats. And there's also an adapter here, so you can put electronics here if you need to and charge them, which is really nice to see. And again, at 5'10", plenty of room above my head, so it's very comfortable in the second row. And we do have the electronics to recline these seats, move them forwards and backwards, just to give you a little bit more comfort. And then you'll also notice too, right in the center, we have a small LCD screen where you can view all of the dual zone climates. So we have fan speed, the temperature on both sides, as well as heated seats. So you have 3 different adjustments for both seats. You'll see a 12 volt along with 2 USBs, 2 cup holders, and the X7 badge too. And then also for your second row passengers, we have a few controls over on the door panel here. If I push on this button on the left side, you will see the sunshade automatically go up for this driver's side. If I push on it again, it will automatically go down. We have that same control for the passenger side, so you can adjust that one too. And then on the back left here, if I push on this one, this will automatically close the sunroof up top. And then the last one on the right side will close the sunshade for the back. And then moving on to the third row now, all I need to do is pull on this tab here. You'll see the backrest and the entire seat move forward, giving you plenty of room to hop into that third row. There's a step down below, which you can use to put your feet on, of course, and you'll see the seat actually raise up too. And now at 5'10", hopping into the back seats, you can see I currently have one folded down at the moment, but we have even more of that ambient lighting running to the third row. There's a cup holder as well as a armrest. You'll see that same thing over on the driver's side too. And we even have some electronics down below. So you'll see there's a USB-C. So even the third row passengers can charge electronics, and these are even heated. So that's really impressive to see. Heated third row with climate controls, so you can adjust all of that and your passengers can be comfortable in the back. You'll also notice too, even the third row passengers can adjust that sunshade, so it's almost like you're in the front seats in this back row. Very impressive to see. And as you can see, you can fold these seats flat just to give you a little bit more interior space. And you'll also notice too, there's electronic buttons here that you can use in order to fold these seats down or put them back up. Very convenient to have that feature if you need to use them from the second row. And then if we put that backrest back up, the seat will automatically move backwards into the position that it was in before. So we'll let that do that as we take a look at the trunk storage area now. So you can use the button on the key fob or just up underneath on the BMW logo. And you'll see the top section of the liftgate open up. We can push on this button to lower this lower section, and you can also lower the back end of the vehicle, making this load height a little bit lower. So if you have some items, that will make it easier to load, of course. You can sit on this if you're hanging out back here, just gives you a little bit more space. You'll also notice too, up underneath, we have a large compartment here where you can place any items you need to. You can see we have the removable cover currently down there as well. And with the third row down, you'll see there's a lot of storage space where you can put in any items. There's a net over on the passenger side, as well as a 12 volt. And then over on the right side, we have all these controls for the second and third row. You can even push on the max button for the amount of people that you want, or max storage. So if I push on max right now, you'll see the third row go back up for everyone to be in this vehicle, of course. And you can see with the third row up, there's still a decent amount of room behind there. So you can definitely pack this vehicle full of people, and you have a lot of options for these seats. And then to go ahead and close this lift gate, you can do the lower one separate, or up top, if I just push on this button here, they will both automatically close. All right, so getting this 2022 BMW X7 out on the road now. This is a very, very luxurious full-size 3-row SUV that has a lot to offer. So if you need a vehicle that is this large, it has plenty of room for all of your passengers inside, and it even has a healthy towing figure. So you can pretty much use this every single day with having people, or if you're towing trailers and you want to use this as a hauler, toy hauler, whatever you may have, you can definitely do that, because not only does it have the power to do that, but it's also very capable with performance just driving out on the road here. So let's pop it over into the manual setting here, put it into Sport Plus, and I don't think I mentioned earlier, we have the brushed aluminum paddle shifters. So we'll drop it down to third and give it a little bit of gas. That is so impressive to see in a vehicle that's this large. It's very cool to see. If you want performance in your drive, and yet you need the practicality, you have a big family, you need all the space, you don't have to sacrifice that performance just because you're in an SUV. That sounds so good at the same time. It's not crazy loud, but for an SUV like this, it definitely sounds pretty good. I love how BMW incorporates a lot of their performance in their sports cars and in their sedans into their larger SUVs like this. So you definitely have plenty of power to have a fun drive. You can take this out on some back roads if you want to. Now it's still an SUV, so it's not going to handle quite as good as a sports car, but we have a few twisty roads that we can get this on to really see its performance. But while we're getting there, let's talk about the ride. So even in Sport Plus, this is a very comfortable vehicle. I have no complaints with how it's riding. Sport Plus might get a little bit more stiff, of course, because that's what it's designed for, but you do have comfort mode. So if you want to back it down into comfort, it gets a little bit more softer. So you have the options to do that depending on how you'd like to drive. And the steering input as I came around that turn there is very impressive. I love how this is driving for this big of an SUV. So we have a pretty sharp right coming up. I mean, just going at normal speeds around that turn, it's very impressive. You can have your family with you and still have some fun driving. And so now switching to the POV angle, we can talk about these materials real quick. I love this interior with all the leather, the wood trim, the brushed aluminum. It's a very upscale interior, especially for this price point. You wouldn't expect anything less, but it's a beautiful interior to look at every single day. And now one thing that I did want to mention too is the fact that we are in Sport Plus right now, just in normal automatic mode, so I'm not using the paddles, and the shifts are incredibly quick. You can definitely see and feel a difference between Sport Plus and Comfort when you're not using the paddles. But now that we are into the manual setting using these paddles, they are just so responsive. I love how this is driving on this back mountain road here. As we come to this right turn, down to third, it's handling them so well. It's very impressive to see for the size of this vehicle, but it's a very comfortable SUV to drive. I could definitely get on board with driving this every single day if I needed the space, if I needed all this room. So we can go down to second. Plenty of power to get out of that turn there. But I think that's going to wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive getting the 2022 BMW X7 M50i out on the road. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this SUV for me today. All their information is down in the description below. Definitely check them out. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button if you'd like to stay up to date on our daily uploads. And I'll see you guys in the next video.